welcome back to the Ozark Empire Fairgrounds here in Springfield, Missouri for the Penda Monster Truck Thunder Drag. And here is a look now at the matchups as we go into round two. Now, once again, the fast loser from round two will advance to the semis. Nobody wants that left lane, and there's the guy that will have that left lane. Ray Perkowski in the Dodge Express doing the dry hops, trying to get some footing. Ray's taking on Andy Brass in the coveted near lane. Brass, of course, comes out of the St. Louis area in the Bigfoot Ford. He's the fast qualifier. He had lane choice, and once again, he took that right lane. Now, earlier, Army took a look at the track conditions.
Gary, believe it or not, what you're looking at is the actual surface these monster trucks are running on. Now, as you well know, this afternoon there was a torrential rainstorm that came through. For about 45 minutes, it just rained cats and dogs. Well, then the sun came out and it dried everything up, and all the drivers thought, we got a dry track to run on. Well, that's not the case, because now that the sun has gone back down, the moisture is starting to come up. And as you can see, it's turning everything into nothing but goo. Now, the moisture coming up on the starting line means one thing. It's going to be tough to get off the starting line. But you have a compounded problem on the other end of the track, because that same moisture is getting the shutdown area. And the shutdown area here is grass. As you well know, there's nothing in the world slicker than wet grass. Back to you, Gary.
I like your verbiage, goo. It's not a tacky track, it's gooey. As we take a look at the matchup here with Ray Porkowski, the far lane, Andy Brass, the near lane, Dodge against Ford. This is round two action from Springfield, Missouri. And you can see how moist that track is there in the staging area. It's going to be all Andy Brass. The Bigfoot Ford takes the victory. Andy Brass with an ET of 5.21. The time for Ray Perkowski was a 5.70. Dodge will have to hang on. That probably will not be the fast qualifier, the fast loser. The fast loser comes back, but that won't be fast enough to get him on.
No, that left lane, boy, it's a kiss of death tonight for everybody.
We take a look there at Colt Cobra out of Colorado in the snake bite truck. He once again will be in that far lane. Now, this is in round one. He took out Don Van Loo, and there's the action from round one. It was all snake bite.
You know, there's so many guys that compete for the top 12 positions to get into this thing, and we just pick them up on TV in the second round, but you don't get to see Van Loo a lot. As Dan Runty comes up, he'll be driving the Bigfoot Power Wheel vehicle. You don't get to see the Hall brothers or Pam Botter either, but these are good monster truck racers. They're just having trouble getting past the first round. They're doing great by qualifying, but getting past the first round into the TV round, they all want to do that.
Well, a pair of Fords right here. The Power Wheels Bigfoot, the nearest lane to the camera, and that's the lane everybody wants to be in. So let's see what happens here. Colt Cobra in snake bite in the far lane, a pair of Fords.
Well, if any animal in the world is going to like gooey, slimy weather, it's got to be a snake. Let's see if he can do it. Hey, he's out on him.
Oh, he had a good hole shot. Yeah, well, I don't know. It looked like Runty got him at the very end by perhaps a headlight. 538. 538 for Dan Runty to a 546. Indeed, the snake bite had the hole shot. Somehow that Ford Power Wheels Bigfoot got down in no man's land, hooked up the horsepower, and made a run at him.
Snake bite moves on him and hangs just a little bit. Right there is what happened. He hung just a little bit. Dan Runty got down, planted the horsepower, and went on to win.
Dan Runty takes the victory, and we're going to take the unique look from our crush cam as Runty goes right overhead. As he will take the victory, and Colt Cobra will have to hang around to see if he's the fast loser.
Tell you what, right lane is good, left lane's bad, simple as that.
Yeah, actually, Army, that pass there, I was just explaining to Gary, crew chief here, didn't feel like it was hooking up as hard as it did the pass before. It turned in a real close time to the pass we made before, but it just seems like that lane's starting to go away too. I'm not sure what we're going to do here in the next round.
We had the same scenario at Bloomsburg, and one guy came out and won the whole thing. That was you out of the lane that nobody else could win out of. Could that be the scenario here tonight? That left lane could be the lane to be in the final?
It could very well be, Army. You know, like I said, it just seems like it's a little slower off the line. The Ford Bigfoot Power Wheels is really doing a good job. I mean, it's dialed into the track like this. It's working well. It just seems like it's not pulling as hard, and it may be the lane to be in.
And that could be the guy to beat this evening, Dan Runty in the Power Wheels Bigfoot. Well, coming up now, a race between a pair of Schaefers. There is Paul Schaefer in the Monster Patrol. He goes against Fred Schaefer's Barefoot. There's a look at Paul Schaefer out of Portage, Indiana. Now, Fred Schaefer's an old drag racer, and he brings over a lot of technology from drag racing. Earlier, Army took a look at the barefoot design.
The Dodge Hemi engine and drivetrain, very, very similar to the exact same thing you see each and every week at drag strips across the country. The Dodge Hemi engine, powered by alcohol, to make all the horsepower you want. But the big question is, how do you get the horsepower to go to the ground? Well, basically what you have in this assembly here, the bell housing, is 3 clutch discs. So you can adjust the clutch discs. You loosen them up, you get more slip. You tighten them up, you get a better bite. Also behind the clutch setup is a Lincoln transmission. Very, very similar, or identical really, to the one they use in the drag cars. And the Lincoln transmission has a lot of different gear selections, so externally you can adjust the truck for each round. And that's exactly what happens. Before each run, the driver will go out and check the track and come back and decide whether he and the crew need to tighten the clutch up or loosen it up, or to change the gear to go to a quicker or a taller gear in the Lincoln transmission. So the one thing constant in monster truck racing is you're always going to be adjusting your drivetrain. The horsepower is there. How you get the horsepower to the ground is what this sport is all about. And you do it each and every time before each and every run. Back to you, Gary.
Army, we talk about Fred Schaefer's experience in drag racing, but Paul Schaefer is an old oval dirt tracker.
You're exactly right. He used to run on the series like the Stars Series and the Have a Tampa Series and what have you, so the mud's not new to him. He just got to figure out how to make that thing go the other end quicker. He's out on it. No, mid-track it cost him, Gary.
Now, once again, mid-track is where Fred Schaefer picks up the victory. Barefoot will continue at 5.28, as we'll take a look at the time now for Paul Schaefer in the Monster Patrol, and his time is a 5:71. So a lot of disparity, and these guys are waiting to see which fast loser will move on.
Exactly, exactly.
We take a look once again. Paul Schaefer, the far lane away from the camera, got a good jump, but it's right through this section right here. The horsepower kicks in, and there goes Schaefer. Fred Schaefer takes the victory.
Fred Schaefer, if you're going to win the national championship in this series, you have got to turn your luck around. And this next run could be the pivotal run of the year. You put him out, you knock him away from points, and you keep adding points to your side, and Lord knows you need the points.
Exactly right, Army. That's what I got to do. I got to put him out and get them points, and every week just a few more points.
Who gets lane choice?
I believe you just told me I had a faster time than him, so I'm going to go to the right lane. I get lane choice.
That's one thing a driver loves to hear in this series, lane choice. There are your matchups for the semifinals. We're coming back with it. Stay with us.